Hi friends, in my previous session we have seen OpenFeign with query param, path param and header map. So we have checked for matrix param, it didn't work because it's clearly saying like missing matrix param variable. We need to implement WebMVC configurer. Similar like we have implemented for the student results REST client. So I'm going to add for my student service also. So in config class I'm going to add I'm going to provide implementation for WebMVC configurer, and I'm going to provide configure path matcher. So it's a configuration class, so we need to annotate with and configuration, and we have to implement WebMVC configurer. If you go inside WebMVC configurer, we can see configure path match. We have to provide implementation for this method. So public, so we are going to use URL path matcher, path helper equal to new URL path helper, and we are going to set remove semicolon content to false. By default it is true, so we are going to set false, and we are going to add that to configurer. Configurer dot get set URL path helper with helper. So save this and restart the server. Then we should be matrix param should be able to work. So server is started. Let me go and hit in Postman. See, we are able to retrieve because the value was 45 is not available. So here we are able to retrieve French values which are greater than 45. So now I am going to show you how to add post call for OpenFeign. So in student REST results we have added post method also. So let me go and get that. So this is the post method, so I'm going to use this. The value is slash results comma consumes, and here it is student service. So we are taking it in the request body. So let me add my method for this. So now first let me add that add results in my Feign client. So I'm going to student results client. I have added that. It's a void return type, so void marks. So @body, first is @request line. We have to provide the address. It's a post method. And we are going to use header annotation here to specify it's going to accept applications/JSON. So we are saying content type is -type : if you want to take dynamically, we can use param and we can get that value. So here I'm going to hard code that one. So I'm going to use application.json /JSON applications, and now I have to define @body. So it take the body annotation, takes the template how you are giving in the body. So it should be something like this. So for now I'll add only 3 arguments. And it can't use curly braces, so I need to use that corresponding value, URL encoded value. It's a 7b, and also it is 7d, %7d. So it should be in the quotes. So and these values I'm going to take dynamically, so I'm going to use @param for that. So first I'll write param key, so I need to replace with English. So we need to add the import statement. So now we have formatted the body. So in the service class I should be able to call the same way. I can use marks dot get English, it get me English value. Similarly, marks dot get Hindi will get me Hindi value, and marks dot math will be getting math value. So now I am going to restart my server. Let me save all the classes and restart. So my server is started. So I am going to use post. With endpoint is /student/results, and body, because I have given only 3 arguments. So I'm going to hit. So we got internal server error. It's saying unable to bind this object to corresponding JSON data. It's not unable to deserialize our object. So what we have to do, same like we have added our own decoder, we have to add our, instead of default encoder, we have to add our JSON encoder to encode this content. So I'm going to use new JSON encoder to convert my JSON object to corresponding model. Now let me restart my server. So if we go, server is started. If I go and hit now, it's saying no property based constructor created. Let me go and see the model, whether we are having default constructor or not. So it is not having default constructor, so that's why it's failing. It's unable to deserialize the object. When it's deserializing, it will use default constructor. So let me add first default constructor. Similarly, let me check in the result service also whether the model has default constructor. Yes, it has default constructor. So let me restart. So the application is started. See, it was able to insert. So we'll go to the get call and see whether the data is inserted or not. See, whatever the record we have added, it was there. So we are able to use @body annotation also. Here we have used, instead of default encoder and decoder, we have used our own encoder and decoder. If you want to use our own client, we can use .client, and whatever the client we want to use, we can use like .client. So if I want to use Apache HTTP client, I can use Apache HTTP client. If I want to use OKHTTP, I can use OKHTTP client. But we need to add corresponding maven dependency in our pom.xml, because I am not having OKHTTP client as part of my maven dependency. It's not showing. So so maybe I can go and update my pom.xml. Now it is able to fine. After adding the dependency we are able to get. So similarly, if I want to intercept my request, I can use requestInterceptor dot requestInterceptor, and I can provide implementation for this requestInterceptor interface. So let me add one implementation for requestInterceptor. Class in interceptor implements requestInterceptor. It has one method, apply. It takes the REST template. So if I want to add new header to my body, I can add template dot, so it's if we want to change body, we can change body. If we want to add header with the name values, we can add. So I'm going to add one header called x forward, and I'm going to give some value, test 1 2 3, and I'm going to use this interceptor in my feign request interceptor. New sorry, the name is wrong, it's interceptor. So I'll go with this matrix call, which is having header values map. So let me test with that whether my header is forwarding. Slash matrix if I go to output, I should be able to see my forwarded header. Yeah, X match. Connection. So I think I have to restart the server. So both servers are started. Let me hit started in debug mode. So now I can see that X forward test value. So similarly, if I want to add logging, if I want to change the default logging to some other logging, I can use logging. If I want to provide error contract, JAX contract, I can use this contract. We have seen client, and log level we can change. In this encoder also we can use either JSON or JAXN for JSON. If you want to use XML, we can use JAXB encoder and JAXB decoder. So there are different options provided by feign. We can use it. Thank you, friends.